I think people
I just want the shots so people can see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, welcome to the Safe Space Podcast, man.
Thanks.
So today we're with Jonathan from Liberty. He is our personal Northwest Safe rep, the Western region representative for Liberty Safe Company.
Yep.
We've been with Liberty for nearly 40 years, and so we've gone through a few reps over the last few decades, but you are a current one. You're in town to say hi and touch base, the things that you reps do, and so we thought, hey, we might as well have you on the Safe Space Podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet, man.
It's good to be here.
So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about what do you think makes Liberty stand out from other safe brands in the market?
Yeah. So coming into Liberty, I'm new to the team. I've only been there for 2.5 years. So I came in as a customer. I owned my own Liberty Safe before I joined the team, and that was something that attracted me to the company because it was a brand that I knew and recognized from my time in shooting sports. So I think that's something that sets us apart is just our long-term commitment to the shooting sports and to elevating and supporting that industry. And then the other big thing that stands out to me is our U.S. focus. All of our safes are made in the U.S. We use U.S. labor, U.S. steel, and I think more than ever, that's pretty important, showing the love that we have for the states.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to this day, more people come in here asking about Liberty Safe than any other brand, good or bad, which we'll get into later on. But yeah, I mean, especially right now in this economic and political climate, a lot of manufacturers are worried about tariffs, and Liberty really isn't too much worried about that because they have such a stronghold on all their American-made products, and you guys are sourcing so much stuff from here.
Yeah. I mean, everybody right now in the safe industry has been through a little roller coaster ride, trying to deal with tariffs and how are they going to move forward. You have manufacturers that are stopping production of product to where, now Liberty's in a really good position because they don't have to worry about that because all of their gun safes are made in the USA, which we always try to, I feel like this is a reoccurring topic on the podcast is just convincing people most safes in the industry that you see, they try to make you think that they're made in the USA, but they're not.
Yeah.
They'll say Winchester, they'll say some, have Americana big flags on them, but they're an import from China to our Liberties. I mean, they really are made in the USA. The little feature I love is right under the dial, how every single one has it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So kind of, tying into U.S., built products, how does a Liberty approach like innovation with technology and, are there any exciting advancements like coming soon, do you believe, from Liberty or in the safe industry when it comes to just advancements in technology?
Reinventing the box is hard. I mean, it is a steel box, like you guys have said on the podcast before. Things that Liberty's done to try to elevate and make the industry better. One of the biggest things was our new production facility that we moved into in Payson, Utah, where we developed a robotic process to get costs down on our entry-level products. And so a lot of that entry-level product, the Centurion line, is made by robots and then finished by humans. So we take some cost out, the same thing that China's done, but in America.
Yeah.
So beyond that, changing locks, getting more smart systems built in, I think is the only place that the industry can really go right now. But there's a lot of people that are leery of that. So Liberty's been careful on adopting anything new there. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been to most all of the safe manufacturers here in the U.S. and especially down in Utah. And I just, comparing Liberty to everyone else when it comes to manufacturing, you guys are just light years ahead. And it's been that way for decades now. So, you guys have already invested the money in that technology, and that's why you guys can put out so much more product than the other guys. I'll let David Jr. ask the next one because he's passionate about fire protection and fire ratings. So,
well, I was going to jump back to the Centurion line in that, like I said, Liberty invested in. one thing that gives Liberty a stronghold on, that entry level market.
U.S. built entry level.
It's if someone's looking to buy a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 made in USA safe, it's not a problem. There's a lot of manufacturers and good manufacturers that are going to have a great product in that price range. But what makes Liberty unique is they can actually build a safe in that sub $2,000 price point in the USA, to where everybody else is importing them. There's been some manufacturers that are trying. I don't know how successful they're going to be, because really what happened in our industry is 20 years ago, everybody started shifting manufacturing over to China and just kind of abandoned the U.S. market, to where Liberty never did that. They consistently invested in American manufacturing, and now I think they're at a spot to where just the efficiency of scale, they do so much of that product that it's going to be really tough for someone to compete with them and come in at that price point and have a U.S.-made product.
And that's our goal. We want to make sure that the safes stay affordable. And I'll give the Northwest viewers a sneak peek here. In June, we're going to announce some new pricing on the CN line, on the Centurion line, to help make it a little bit more affordable and to help people that need those safes to protect their valuables or their firearms or keep things out of the hands of children. We're going to drop the pricing on that line.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been seeing obviously a shift in that kind of, entry to mid-range class as far as consumers just holding on to their money lately. And, I think a lot of people will be excited to see those prices come down a little bit and increase volume and offer somebody, a quality U.S. built product, under that $1,000 price point. We've always said Liberty is really your only option, which I love being able to say that. So.
Besides the Centurion, is there anything else that's coming out?
Yeah, there's some other cool products.
Okay,
coming
I wasn't
out.
sure if I could say it. So
You can.
Okay.
I mean, we'll give people a sneak peek here.
Yeah. So they're doing a line of gun cabinets.
Yep.
So again, it's going to be made in USA, to where everything else it's competing against is going to be an import.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really low price point and affordable.
Yeah, so low price point, low weight, so customers can have a little bit more freedom with that, and then a unique design too, with some door storage and some other perks to it. So
like Kel was saying, one of my favorite subjects. Can you break down Liberty's fire rating process and what customers often misunderstand about it?
I will do my best. A lot of the fire rating was done before I joined the team, but I've done a lot of reading on it and tried to really understand it. So when we did our fire testing, when we do our fire testing, we put thermocouples in the top, the middle, the bottom of the safe to measure temperatures throughout. And if at any point during the fire test, any one of those hits 351 degrees, that's when the safe fails. Because at 351 is when paper starts to yellow, curl, and deform. And so a lot of people store documents, money in their safes, and so that has to be the threshold. And we used an independent third-party agency that I don't believe is any longer in business, unfortunately.
Omega.
Yeah, Omega.
Yeah.
And they were one of the most strict, as far as I understand, fire testers out there. And so what we would do is we'd put them in an oven, thermocouples would be in there, we'd monitor everything, and as soon as that safe failed, that would be the benchmark. So when we market a USA as a 60-minute safe, it's going to hold that temperature in that safe at 350 degrees for at least that 60 minutes during a house fire. And we do it at 1,200 degrees because the research shows that's the typical temperature a house burns. And there's a lot of variance there. You're going to hear other opinions out there, but that's the temperature we came up with. Yeah,
I mean, you guys have always had a trusted fire rating in our eyes, and we've explained that to customers for decades. We're really excited, and we hope that Liberty will maybe, kind of take that next step and do more testing and be even more transparent with consumers, right? Because that's what people want. They want to see real life circumstances and testing done, and so it's not cheap to do, especially when you're paying a third party, but it brings your brand credibility, and really what you're trying to do is build people's trust. So hopefully Liberty in the next year or two will be able to invest in some more fire tests and just continue to set the bar like you guys always have.
Well, we're in an age of people are used to seeing content and videos, and all this stuff was done, I mean, for the most part, decades ago. But growing up, going back to the factory, like Liberty was the only one really showing us and taking us to fire test. And you got to watch the product evolve and change, and they've learned a lot. I mean, just little things like when you open up the door, how Liberty extends the door panel past the hinges. So when you close it, it cups that area off. I mean, that makes a huge difference in how the fire protection performs. The new lines, when they switch to the two-piece body, robotically welded, that even improved fire protection. So, yeah, Liberty's over the years constantly improved, but yeah, I'd love to see more.
I think
more
we will.
information and testing on it.
Something that Liberty is focused on, and I think we'll see some new fire testing coming up soon.
Cool. We're excited for that. So something that we obviously we deal with on a daily basis here, and as a manufacturer, it's tough because you guys have to support kind of these two different funnels of sales for you, right? Number one, the Liberty dealer network, which we're a part of, which we obviously think is the most important and kind of the lifeblood of Liberty Safe. And then you have the mass merchants or the box stores, right? The Tractor Supplies of the world, the Bass Pros, Cabela's, so on and so forth. And so, over the years, we've had to obviously compete with those guys. We've been able to do a pretty good job and just, keep going without using it as an excuse too much. But in your opinion, how important is it to buy from one of the authorized dealers versus just online or a big box store?
You get a lot of benefits from going to an authorized dealer. And I think the interaction, what you're doing for a community through an authorized dealer versus a big box store is way more important than maybe capturing that $25 or $50 price break, because what they're going to get from you is an education on the safe. And is that safe really meeting their needs? A lot of people go in looking for a price point first, not realizing all the things and all the benefits they get from maybe going up a line or getting a little bit more fire protection or a little bit thicker of a steel. And so when you come into an independent dealer like Northwest Safe, you're going to learn all those things and why they're important. And then you're going to end up with a better product down the road. And not even that, you guys do full service deliveries. And if a customer knows where to go, if they're going to move homes, you guys can then move that safe for them because they're not light. It's hard to manage those. And at a big box store, you're going to interact with a salesman or a checkout person for maybe 5 minutes. They don't know anything about the safe really. And so did you get the right product? Probably not.
Yeah.
So coming to an independent dealer like you guys is the only way I would shop. When I bought mine before I worked at Liberty, I went to an independent dealer and not a big box store.
Well, I mean, one thing I appreciate about, box stores and having the safes out there is it's growing the brand, but also awareness. Because one of the biggest drivers of people coming in the stores, they go to that box store, they can't get their questions answered. They want the safe delivered and installed, but they don't have a solution for them. So it starts that conversation. It starts that customer to search online for those solutions and, often find us.
Yeah. And I hope they do, because they are getting better service through you guys. And they're
it's better for Liberty in the long run too,
is.
right? Because it's a direct, connection to your brand. I like it when people come in and say, yeah, they couldn't even open up the safe for me at the store. That's been one over the years.
One of my favorite ones is when people come in and they're at a box store and they come in and they talk about how much nicer our safes are. And, oh man, the safes we were looking at there, they were junk. Well, oftentimes I know, the safe you're looking at, it's the same safe or a similar safe we have here. We just leveled the door so it's not swinging wildly open. We adjusted everything correctly. Nothing's loose. It's like it's set up how it should be. It's not neglected. We take care of our showroom and our products.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that kind of ties into, people being confused that, they don't realize it's the same safe a lot of times is because it has a different name on it, right? So it's made by Liberty, but it's got some type of Freedom something, or, it's the box store version of what we have.
It'll be branded to the box store.
Yeah, so kind of in that, sense, what goes into Liberty's decisions when they come up with a new model or they're trying to develop a new model, if you have any insight on that?
Limited, because a lot of that's done through the R&D. But when we look at new models or new sizes, we go to our dealer channel, sometimes, most of the time, I hope. And then we go to the box stores and we try to take all the input from our customers, which is really our dealers, and take what they see the market needs and then put that into a new product. That's always the goal. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a home run on the premium home safe.
yeah.
When those two series of home safes come out, I kind of thought, okay, because the 60-minute rated one has always been our volume one, and I thought, okay, that will continue to do well. I don't know how this premium is going to do, because it's a higher price point.
Yeah.
But with us, it's by far outsold the 60-minute rated home safe.
Yeah, it goes back to Liberty, spending the money, doing the market research on, hey, where is there this need and gap in the marketplace? And you guys have long, had market control over the gun safe realm, but there are so many homeowners who don't own any guns at all, or maybe one or two, but they have a ton of important paperwork, valuables, jewelry, and then you guys offered it in some really nice gloss finishes. And yeah, we're selling way more gloss than we are the textured or marble. So you can get an elegant safe with above average security and fire protection for what we think is still a great value. And yeah, the Liberty Premium Home Series is just, it's been a home run, I think, nationwide, I know.
It has. It's really kept us doing well in a market where the gun industry's taken a back seat in the last several years, but the home safe market's really stayed strong. And that's an area of innovation that I think we need to continue to explore. Like you say, there's a lot of people that don't own guns, but they want safes. So further expanding into those home style safes is something that we need to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because 2023, we just saw the gun safe market kind of go like this, but then for some reason at the same time, the home safe market just shot up.
Yep.
And searches for it.
Yep.
So something that Liberty is just super famous for is a warranty, right? And if our safe technician Jeff was here right now, he would probably go to bat for you guys more so than just about anybody. All these manufacturers claim they have the best warranty or a lifetime warranty, and what we've seen when it comes down to brass tacks and when you actually have to step up and cover something, Liberty by far has done the best job over the years. So kind of connected to that, what have you seen are the most common claims? I know we could come up with a list on that, but common claims, and then how are they handled within Liberty's warranty?
Yeah. So recently the most common claims has been electronic locks failing. So we had the entry level line wasn't doing really well. And that was handled in two different ways through Liberty. The first was making sure that customers were taken care of, either got access to their safe and that lock changed out, or drilled in the instances where it needed to be drilled if things were so bad. And then we took that lock back to the manufacturer, SecureRAM, and pushed for some changes within that lock. So using our status in the industry as one of the premier manufacturers of safes, trying to use that status to improve the product out there. And I'm happy to say that SecureRAM made a couple big changes to those locks, and we're seeing better performance out there on those. But the overall process, we have a team of, I want to say 10 or 15 inside customer service agents that handle all requests as they come in. And it really is our goal to make sure that customers feel heard and taken care of in every instance, regardless of how big or small it might be, from lockouts to fires where the safe might have been destroyed, and we get them taken care of either way.
Yeah.
Well, like Kel was saying, everybody has a good warranty on paper, but Liberty has a good warranty on practice. So if you read most warranties in the safe industry, they're actually pretty amazing. It's crazy at the amount of things that they'll cover, but very few of them go above and beyond, or it's a challenge for them to just do what you said you're going to do on the sheet of paper, to where consistently Liberty makes it easy. One of the big things that I think people shouldn't skip over is the install and extraction. Mm-hmm. So if you buy a Liberty safe from Northwest Safe and there's a warranty issue in the future, most manufacturers, if you read the fine print, you are responsible for getting that safe extracted out of your home, shipped back to the factory, returned, and then installed. To where Liberty, one, because of what we stock and our relationship with you, I've pretty much always had something in stock that was similar. We're hired to go out, take the existing safe out, install a new one, and the customer's done from there. And then we'll take care of the damaged safe from that point. You're not going to be sitting without a safe for a couple months, and you're not going to be responsible for getting the hardest part of it, which is the extraction and install. They're going to take care of that. So that's a huge one that people aren't used to running into when they have an issue with their safe.
And I'm glad that we do a good job with it, because like you say, if it's just on paper and there's no practice, it means nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we don't shy away from communicating with you guys at the factory about what issues we're going through, and if we see something that's being consistent, you guys are going to hear about it from the local dealer right away. And yeah, it's just, as a salesperson, being able to sell a product and know that the warranty I'm telling the customer, is going to be followed through with. That's huge for a sales guy, because it's the truth.
Yeah.
And I love having that tool in my tool bag when I'm talking to customers about the Liberty brand. I think that's probably one of the reasons why the Liberty brand has stayed at the top for so long. What else do you feel, besides warranty, the U.S. built product has kept Liberty at the top in the industry for so many decades?
Good sales teams, people that believe in the product, honest salespeople. You guys obviously aren't going to sell something that you don't believe in, and we're not going to push a product that we don't believe in. So that commitment to quality is something that's kept us up. And then strategic partnerships over the years, where we've partnered with very prominent people like Lynn Beck in the past. I think that's helped a lot too. But just being committed to quality and trying to always put out a product that we trust and believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inside sales team is awesome. Shout out to Sean Durfler. One thing I really appreciate about with Liberty is, like, when I need a truck fast and I need to make changes, like, he's on top of it. A lot of manufacturers, I could put a truck in and it's 2 weeks before it ships. To where with Sean, I can make some changes, put a shipment in, and it's going out that same week. Like, it's you guys are on top of it. And when we get busy and need to, like, turn things up, you make sure we get product and get it fast, better than anybody else in the industry. Yeah,
for sure. I think, all of that you guys said is one of the reasons why Liberty's always stayed at the top. Yeah, Sean's always been a great advocate for us, and as well as Tracy. And, we've had some awesome reps over the years. And so you've got big shoes to fill, Jonathan.
Well, Sean's definitely my better half. I'll be honest about that.
Yeah.
Couldn't do what I do without Sean. So,
well, it's a perfect segue. All this, trust and consistency for years and years, and we've never ever had any type of issue with the Liberty brand name or reputation. And obviously, a few years ago, Liberty went through something that none of the other safe companies have had to go through with the whole FBI controversy. So we have to bring that up. I know everybody listening, and really it's still just so much is still unknown surrounding that controversy. And so, I guess from your side, from Liberty's side, what actually happened? We get to explain this all the time to customers who come in, but let's just hear it from Liberty's side.
Sure. It's something that I wish we would have talked about more and put more effort into. Everybody saw the Facebook posts and the canned answers that we had put together, and I really wish we would have done more. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about this a little bit. What happened, and every safe company gets requests like this, I think, but we had the FBI approach Liberty with a warrant saying they needed the combination for a safe. We don't know the content or the purpose of the investigation, and it was our policy at the time to support law enforcement, local municipalities, or government agencies like the FBI. So we got the combination and followed the procedures with that warrant and got them into that safe. Should we have been looking at that policy? Yes. Should we have been adjusting and adapting based on the changes in the nation and where trust is and what people believe is privacy and what privacy actually is, and making sure that we're being a good steward of that privacy? Yeah, we should have been updating things, but there was a warrant, and that was something that was widely misreported, that we didn't have a warrant in place. beyond that, we could get into the weeds, but we've updated our policy since then. And we require some things now for LE or FBI or whoever when they want to get into a safe. They have to be able to identify the safe by a serial number. They have to name Liberty in the warrant, and there has to be a couple other things. And even with all of those on a warrant or a court order, our CEO has a policy to deny any request the first time it comes in, just to raise the bar and raise the standard. Liberty takes security and privacy very serious. And it was something that was, I think, eventually bound to happen. I wish it wouldn't have happened to Liberty, but it did. And now today, customers' valuable is their possession, their privacy is more secure with Liberty than it's ever been.
Yeah, and again, we get to answer this question almost every day here at Northwest Safe, and yeah, so many of the trolls online and so many of the customers that come in here it's just misinformation.
Yeah.
And not only was Liberty's policy out of date, but the entire safe industry's policies were out of date. Every single other safe company, for the most part, would have done the same exact thing. And so, yeah, unfortunately, Liberty took the brunt end of that one. We always explain to customers for almost 40 years, Liberty has been, a staunch Second Amendment supporter, a conservative company as a whole, just a brand that you want to be connected with, especially if you own firearms. And so, yeah, it's been interesting to work through that. I know David has plenty to say about this, and we can go on and on.
Yeah,
but,
I want to know which direction to go.
Well, I think maybe just some more misconceptions. There was a warrant, right? And then
I would say what people will bring up, well, Liberty wasn't named in the warrant. And I think Liberty was kind of viewing of the eyes through reality of what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Liberty wasn't named in the warrant, but, I mean, we've seen over the years, it doesn't matter. Law enforcement shows up to a location, they're going to get into a safe. They're typically going to become prepared with a technician, the fire department. We see safes open all the time with the jaws of life.
Oh, my gosh, and just in the last year we've seen...
Or cut open and destroyed.
Yeah,
So I think when Liberty was presented with that warrant and they verified this is legitimate, they knew what was going to happen, right? So they kind of viewed these two options. Option A, okay, we don't comply, the safe gets destroyed, the customer's without a safe, can't secure the valuables he is able to keep, has to deal with the hassle of replacing that.
And maybe they get damaged in the process too.
Option B, we comply, we're not stopping the inevitable anyways, and the customer's left with an intact safe.
Yeah.
Is that their decision to make? I agree with people that no, it's probably not. It should rely. It should be up to the customer who has access to their information.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Liberty was kind of viewing it through the lens. A lot of people think that they're going to slow down the FBI or law enforcement in a meaningful way by not complying, and they weren't. But the good thing that came out of this is, like Cale was saying, the whole industry was out of date. Everybody has been up to date. I guess I kind of talked about, well, why did the industry, where did it stem from? And I think a lot of it is, 40 years ago when all these little metal shops started building safes, they're in small towns. You knew your sheriff. You knew the local police department. Mm-hmm. So if they came and needed your help or assistance, you were going to help them. You were going to assist them. And it just never got updated from there. And I could probably say something that you can is, Liberty didn't know the details of what happened. From my perspective, I think this was a total abuse by, the Biden.
Oh, yeah. FBI was being weaponized.
Yeah. So I hate that part of it. But all this compliance with law enforcement just stems from a time 40 years ago where our relationship with our community and our police is far different than what our relationship is now.
Yeah, there was more trust.
Yeah.
Because things weren't weaponized. And that's probably the part that hurts me the most as a consumer of the product before I worked for Liberty. As an avid sports shooter, it's a company that I've always trusted. since I can remember, and how quickly the gun community flipped on us without even getting any actual answers or real news on it.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much information that was just conflated and false. Nobody gave us the benefit of the doubt or spent any time really trying to dig up the truth of what happened.
Or went back to even correct it.
Yeah. Nobody did.
The biggest thing when customers come in here, the first thing we tell them is, well, did you know the safe was a mechanical dial lock still set at the factory code? And that blows everybody away because story after story, YouTube creator after YouTube creator, everybody was focused on these
E-locks.
backdoor codes and electronic locks. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this was a mechanical dial lock on this safe.
Yeah, and that there's one super code that opens up every electronic lock
Wouldn't
on
that be
every
great,
safe.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So once we tell customers, hey, did you know it was a dial lock? All of a sudden they go, oh, okay.
What else don't I know?
Yeah, maybe I heard the wrong information, right? Yeah. So we do our best to obviously, tell the customers exactly what happened. But yeah, I mean, people buy products based on trust.
Yeah.
How do you think Liberty is going to continue to build that trust back from consumers?
It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, time.
People don't have short memories anymore, but our commitment to privacy and our renewed commitment to privacy is going to be the main building block of that, and it's going to take some time. I don't know how much I can say about what's happened internally since, but I will offer that we've had a few requests come in where it's pretty obvious they're trying to get us to either break our promise or show that we are changed and are committed. We've had a couple calls where somebody's claiming a lockout and they need a combo right away. They've got an emergency where they need to get in there, and it's these tests I think are important because as we continue to honor our commitment to your security and your privacy, we'll build that trust back up. But it is going to take time.
Well, this is, again, how nobody goes back and corrects anything. I believe it was Missouri AG filed a lawsuit against Liberty or looked into wrongdoing. And in the end, it was a big nothing burger.
They dropped it.
Yeah, they dropped it.
They had to.
But you don't hear about that.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Because there was nothing there.
Yeah. So hopefully, as we continue to move forward, Liberty will put out more information on it or answer questions like we are today, and customers will see that there was lies and there was false information out there and there was a lot of fear mongering, and over time I believe we'll get past it and people will slowly start coming back to Liberty, and that's my hope.
Yeah, people get past it in about 10 minutes here because they come in, they want to spend $1,000 or less on anything but a Liberty safe, and we just kind of smile and there isn't anything American made under $1,000. So Liberty's, we don't tell them that right away, but we explain to them what happened, and usually by the end of the conversation, once we tell them the truth, and once again, for 40 years, Liberty has been a conservative, pro-Second Amendment business, a huge supporter of small family-owned businesses like Northwest Safe. And we explained to them that it was a dial lock, and we explained to them that there was a warrant. They slowly but surely kind of work away from that. There's always going to be a few that are just like, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, that's another reason why people should come to smaller authorized dealers is we can actually tell people the truth about the matter. I have no idea what you guys have done training your box store employees, but I can just guess that it's probably nothing.
No, it hasn't been anything.
Yeah. So,
I've made some stops at them, and I've had to talk employees down.
But the turnover rate and, who knows what they're telling their,
Well, we want to see customers make the right decision. And in the end, I mean, I don't necessarily care if someone buys a Liberty safe. What I don't want them to do is buy a different brand safe and think they're getting something that they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't trust Liberty, do you trust some import safe that coming in from China that's oversaw by the CCP? Like, what do you trust?
And that's where we're really fortunate. Liberty's been really fortunate to have great dealers like you guys on the front lines, and whether we should have had you on the front lines or not with that is a totally different topic. But we're fortunate that you guys are out there having those conversations. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you like about working at Liberty? What's something fun or unique that most people don't know about being a rep for a large safe company, or maybe something that, day to day that would be interesting or intriguing for people to hear about being a safe rep?
Just the travel is fun. So getting out there, seeing America, seeing the states that I cover, and getting into the smaller towns out here like Enumclaw or Hubbard, Oregon, where we've got a dealer down there. Rubbing shoulders and interacting with people on a personal level is what I've always loved about being a regional sales manager, whether it's at Liberty or my previous job at Action Target. It's just unique to get out there and see different perspectives, different areas, different walks of life, and meeting people and expanding my horizons through that. And my understanding of the states as a whole through that has always been what I've loved the most. And then the people that I work with too, Sean Durfel, we've mentioned him, Tracy, we've mentioned her. Just the whole team at Liberty is pretty phenomenal. And getting to work with good people is a big blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, David Sr. has always said, I've worked in a lot of different industries, but for the most part, people in the safe industry, they're just good, solid people, and we can attest to that as well.
Like-minded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But not so like-minded, it's an echo chamber. Just good, loving, caring people.
Absolutely. So we got to end on a funny note. Like, on the road, you say you like traveling a lot. What's your favorite go-to meal or snack?
Oh, geez.
We talk about road trip snacks a lot here at Northwest Safe. There's an argument that, Kalen has the best road trip snacks. I obviously argue that I do. Junior thinks he has the best, but is there a favorite restaurant, or what do you like to do on the road? Like, if you need a bite?
Yeah, what do you look forward to?
If there's time, it's whatever's closest, but usually in the car, like this week it's been chomps.
Yeah.
The beef sticks and some prime to keep the energy up and keep high protein, low carb.
Good man.
Yeah.
I like that.
No favorite restaurants, so.
Nothing that you look forward to.
Try to avoid fast food when I can.
Good.
That's healthier. See, every time I'm back in Utah, going to one of the factories, we don't have In-N-Out up here.
Yeah.
So I leave the airport and I go to In-N-Out and get a double.
Better than most places. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jonathan, it's been awesome talking to you. We could sit here all day long and talk, but, we run a business here, and we get to open the doors and start selling, hopefully, more Liberty Safes. It's always good to see you, and thank you for being candid and answering some of our questions, and hopefully we get to do this again sometime.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Next time.
All right.
All right, thanks for watching the Safe Space podcast. If you have any questions that you want us to address on the show, just mention them below.